Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines.
Traffic safety showed positive changes in the first 9 months of this year. Vietnam will increase coal imports to serve domestic production. Swan singing impresses international heritage experts.
Traffic safety across the country showed positive changes in the first 9 months of this year, with the number of deaths and injuries continuing to drop, according to a government report.
The report, which was presented at the 19th plenary session of the National Assembly's Committee for National Defense and Security in Hanoi on October 9th, said that the number of serious accidents relating to passenger cars and trucks has been controlled. In January to September, there were 16,459 accidents, which left more than 6,500 people dead and another 14,900 injured, representing decreases of over 2,200 in terms of cases and 240 in terms of fatalities. However, the report said a handful of provinces like An Giang, Cà Mau and Trà Vinh in the Mekong Delta, Gia Lai in the Central Highlands and Bắc Cạn in the north still saw notably increasing numbers of traffic-related deaths. Regarding orientations to ensure traffic safety and order during the last quarter of this year and next year, the delegates called for efforts from the entire political system, all organizations and individuals. They also emphasized the need to increase inspection over railway and internal waterway traffic safety.
The Prime Minister has instructed localities nationwide to expedite the implementation of an agricultural restructuring project to increase product added value and ensure sustainable development. The Prime Minister urged relevant agencies to work harder to collect information on overseas markets, especially those of partners in bilateral and multilateral agro, forestry, fishery trade commitments. That is expected to have businesses increase their competitive edge while developing the domestic markets and protecting local producers in suitable ways. Agencies are requested to pay more attention to developing local trademarks and vocational training for rural workers, particularly those in agricultural cooperatives. Localities are told to quickly complete their own agricultural restructuring plans within this year, while those already having such programs or action plans need to review and properly adjust their contents based on the respective socio-economic development targets from 2016 to 2020. The Prime Minister asked localities to establish inter-sector steering committees on agricultural restructuring from communal to provincial levels, and review plans on the production of key farm produce in the direction of focusing resources on developing advantageous products. Meanwhile, ministries and sectors are instructed to revise mechanisms and policies and build policies specifically designed for different regions in order to facilitate agricultural restructuring. Vietnam will increase its coal imports to serve domestic production, given that global prices remain low and local mining is facing difficulties.
The information was released at a conference held in the northern province of Quảng Ninh on October 9th to review the sector's activities in the third quarter and set tasks for the remaining quarter of this year. The Vietnam National Coal Mineral Industries Holding Group said Vietnam sold 26 million tons of coal in the last 9 months, realizing 69% of the yearly plan. The nation exported 997,000 tons of coal and imported 174,000 tons during the period. The group said in just the last 3 months, more than 200,000 tons of coal will be imported as the quarter foresees 5-year low coal and mineral prices. Meanwhile, it expects to mine 8.7 million tons of coal and sell more than 9 million tons, raising the yearly figures to 37.2 million tons and 35 million tons respectively. The group has suffered from recent floods and exchange rate fluctuations. Thus, heavy cost-cutting measures are necessary.
The Vietnam Automobile Manufacturers Association reported the country's automobile sales in September rose by 17% from the previous month to 21,366 units. Our reporter will have more details.
During the month, the number of sold passenger cars increased 24% against August to 12,789 vehicles, while commercial vehicle sales rose 5.9% to 7,594 units, and special purpose car sales up 29.5% to 983 units. The sales of domestically assembled cars were estimated at 15,936 units, up 18% from last month. Meanwhile, the industry recorded a 15% rise in the purchase of imported completely built up to 5,430 cars, up 15%. By the end of September this year, auto turnover revved up 53% compared to the same period last year. The sales of passenger cars, commercial cars, and special purpose cars escalated 40%, 71%, and 130% respectively. Also, in the first 9 months of this year, domestically assembled cars and those imported surged by 52% and 57% yearly.
Vietnam stands to gain the most among 12 countries concluding negotiations on the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal early this week, said a U.S.-based newspaper.
The Los Angeles Times quoted the Peterson Institute of International Economics as saying that Vietnam's textile, garment, and footwear sectors are very likely to boom once the TPP is effective. The pact will let the country ship many products tariff-free to a market where members together constitute 2/5 of the global trade. The nation is also improving its tax and investment policies, developing infrastructure, and pursuing other trade pacts to entice more investments, the newspaper noted. Investment bank Goldman Sachs forecasts that Vietnam's economy will jump from the 55th largest in the world to the 17th by 2025, with the gross domestic products of $450 billion, a dramatic increase from the current $186 billion. The economy grew 6% last year and is expected to maintain the same growth rate this year. Since Vietnam opened its door to foreign investment, the country has experienced the growth rate of 5 to 10% annually.
Many foreign investors are now focusing on the property market in Vietnam, driven by its long-term investment potential and the country's drastic move in revamping its policies. Our reporter will have the full story.
The realty market has witnessed strong foreign capital inflows in both direct and indirect investments from the beginning of this year, when the market is recovering after years of being in limbo. Statistics from the Ministry of Planning and Investment showed that foreign investors have poured a total of $2 billion in FDI into the real estate sector in the country so far this year. Besides, foreign funds are strengthening investments in property companies, and experts forecast that the trend would continue increasing amid the market's ongoing recovery. Industry experts said attracting investment from foreign funds will ensure numerous benefits to domestic real estate companies as they have stable and long-term capital. Merger and acquisitions are emerging as a new strategy for foreign investors to penetrate rapidly into the property market of Vietnam. In exchange, they will bring better financial resources and higher standards. Many domestic developers also joined in the M&A game to expand their portfolios, which contributed to restructuring the property market, especially in major cities. The biggest change for the property sector in the country during the past decade was the emergence of property giants who are capable of competing with foreign rivals. Experts said measures to encourage M&A activities are needed, as it will help speed up existing stagnant projects, boost liquidity, and tackle bad debts in the real estate sector.
Phu Quoc district in the southern province of Kiên Giang has taken a wide range of measures to develop the island into a high-quality ecotourism destination in the region and the world. Specifically, the district authorities are calling for investment in infrastructure facilities on the island. communication campaigns have been increased to raise the awareness of environmental protection among local enterprises and the community. The locality has also focused on enhancing supervision, management, and human resource development to enhance service quality, while actively connecting with international partners to introduce its potentials to international tourists. A promotion strategy should be implemented to lure tourists to the island, along with incentives to enhance the key role of enterprises in promoting local potentials. As the nation's biggest island with an area of nearly 600 square kilometers, Phu Quoc is sent out with favorable natural conditions for developing ecotourism, such as beautiful beaches with white and golden sand, crystal clear and blue water, pristine forests, and a mild climate. It sits in a favorable location to connect with key tourism markets in the region and the world. The southern economic hub of Ho Chi Minh City welcomed more than 3.2 million foreign visitors in the first 9 months of 2015, up 5% of the same period last year.
With this result, the city raked in more than 69.1 trillion Vietnam dong, equivalent to $3.14 billion, a year-on-year rise of 6%. Between now and the year's end, Ho Chi Minh City will fine-tune the cooperation mechanism between its tourism and public security sectors and promptly establish a tourist support center, ensuring safety for visitors. A tourism stimulation program will continue with a focus on inbound travel and service improvement. According to the state service provider Service Vietnam, the hotel occupancy in the southern metropolis averaged 62% in the third quarter, down 2 percentage points quarterly, but up 5 percentage points yearly. In its quarterly hotel market update, Service Vietnam said the average room rent rate dropped 4% quarterly and 7% annually to 1.6 million Vietnam dong, or $75 due to the low season. By this September, the city's 112 hotels offered around 14,400 rooms, up 4% quarterly and 14% annually. The figure included 480 new rooms from 6 new projects, 240 of which were in the 3 and 5-star category in the third quarter.
The Northern Midland province of Phu Tho organized a swan singing performance on October 8th to introduce the age of art to international experts in intangible cultural heritage. Let's take a look. The performance left a deep impression on the audience, including the experts who have been in Vietnam to attend a 2-day conference on preservation of the Southeast Asian regional intangible cultural heritage. The delegates came from Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Indonesia, and the Republic of Korea. Gaura Mankakarita Dipura, an expert from Indonesia, commented swan singing has truly revived, adding that he thinks there will be no obstacle to putting the art on the list of intangible cultural heritage of mankind. Swan singing is now in the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent protection. Meanwhile, Vanessa Achelis, a program officer from the UNESCO office in Bangkok, hailed the Vietnamese government's efforts to preserve swan singing. The plan of action Vietnam is implementing will help bring this genre of singing into the representative list instead of the list in need of urgent protection. Swan singing is believed to have been developed during the reign of the Home Kings. Traditionally, singers from Swan guilds performed songs in sacred spaces such as temples, shrines, and communal houses during spring festivals. Over the past years, Phu Tho province has carried out a lot of measures to preserve swan singing, including restoring 19 relic sites involved in swan singing, putting forward policies to honor swan artisans, and consulting the state on designing and enforcing preservation projects to soon remove swan singing from the list of intangible heritage in need of urgent protection. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us and goodbye for now.